Hi Pokefans, welcome back to another one of my videos. We have a lot to talk about, especially with the mass outbreaks and the 7-star raid. But I got to know that we have a new mystery gift, so we are going to discuss on it first before moving on to the Tera raids. Now this distribution was given during today's Pokemon Horizon episode in Japan and gives a player a special cap for their character. It's called the Terrestrial Cap. It is obtained with a code which I'm going to display right here. Now this code is available until November 30th of 2024, so you do have around a year to go ahead and get this item. But of course, I'm going to quickly go ahead and get it right now. I'm always interested in the clothing items for these characters as it's quite rare. If you do need a special clothing item, you probably have to go to a shop in Palkia to buy some, but getting a gift like this is pretty cool. Either way, here it is. Let me quickly go ahead and actually wear the cap itself before we move on. I ended up changing my hairstyle to actually accommodate the cap, but here it is. It definitely looks super cool. I'm going to go ahead and actually wear it as it does go very well with my outfit right now. But that is all on the mystery gift. The next thing to discuss on is the mass outbreak that has been happening for a couple of days now. This one is the mass outbreak for Delibird throughout Palkia, Kitakami and Terrarium. You do have a higher chance of finding a shiny Delibird in this one. Also, unfortunately, this one will be ending tomorrow, so go ahead and try to get it before that. Now, I'm a bit late for this one. This is the 7-star raid battle. I believe it was running from the Friday to tomorrow, but we probably will have a rerun for this next week as well. Unfortunately, I have been a bit sick this weekend, so I wasn't really able to upload this video a bit faster. But either way, I'm gonna do this today. The first thing I definitely wanted to do is go ahead and catch a Delibird from these outbreaks. So I was able to find one right here in the terrarium. Let me quickly go ahead and catch this one. Also, if you are wondering how I have Terrapagos in my party, it's because I have actually played the DLC completely, but I haven't really got a time to actually upload those videos. I'll be doing that pretty soon. But here we have the Delibird, and there we go, we have caught it. We also have a Blissey in 5-star raids alongside with the Iron Bundle, which is the Pokemon that's currently in 7-star raids. But of course, if you do want to collect a specific type of Tera shard, this is definitely the time to do so. Especially with the Blissey, where you'll be able to get a lot of different Tera shards. I'm gonna go ahead and check it out pretty soon right here. But here's a Delibird I quickly caught. Unfortunately, it's not shiny. I'm gonna try and see if I can find one, but either way, let me quickly find a Blissey Tera raid battle. Was able to find one in actually Palkia, so I had to make my way back over there. But here we are. This Blissey is actually a steel Tera type and very helpful if you're trying to have a support Pokemon for Iron Bundle. Let me quickly go ahead and actually defeat it right here. I do have my Crocodile, which is pretty powerful. I should be able to take down the Blissey with a couple of earthquakes. Let's see how much damage we do, and that is pretty massive, really helpful. Either way, I think most people would actually go ahead and defeat Blissey just for the Tera shards. But Blissey is an amazing support Pokemon, so if you're planning one, go ahead and try to get this. It's pretty easy to catch as well if you do have a really strong attack Pokemon, which is a ground type or maybe a fire type. Alright, one more turn to go. And I decide to go ahead and sterilize at this point, just to make sure that we are able to take it down immediately. I believe this turn is the last one for this. As for Iron Bundles, I have actually struggled quite a bit to catch it. It's just that I had the right Pokemon, but I wasn't able to find the right people to actually go ahead and defeat it. There were multiple times where people were just attacking the Pokemon regardless of just where their health was. And it was a bit difficult for me, and I did face quite a few issues. But I was finally able to catch the Iron Bundle as well. As for Blissey, we are able to catch it right here. This is the amount of Tera shards that I did get. As you can see, there were different types of Tera shards. And I believe for each of these blessings, you'll be able to get a lot more Tera shards based on the type it is. Definitely go ahead and catch a couple of them. As for iron bundles, here is my attempt in actually catching it. This was literally an hour after I actually started trying to catch one for myself. Iron bundles is a bit trickier just because of the boost that it does get, especially when its shield is down. It does have the ability Quark Drive, which is pretty bad considering it also knows the move Electric Terrain, which will immediately increase its, I guess, special attack. It does have the move Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Blizzard and Chilling Water. It tends to use Hydro Pump and Blizzard a lot, but it does have additional moves such as Snowscape and Aurora Wave, which both it will actually use in the very first turn. As you can see, it uses it right here. If you do have a Pokemon with Sunny Day, it will definitely help the team a lot. In my case, I actually thought my Lucario Sunny Day. That way, if it does use Blizzard, it doesn't really, I guess, take down my Lucario in one shot. For the second turn, I went ahead and healed up. But as far as your Pokemon goes, if you do have a Pokemon that can avoid the Water type moves or isn't really too affected by the Ice type moves, then that would be very helpful. In my case, I was quite lucky. I found someone in the internet who actually has a Magneria, and they were actually able to help us a lot, especially with the Soul Heart ability of that Pokemon. All we were trying to do was just make sure that none of us go down, and of course, my Lucario has a really good attack stat. This is the Lucario which I believe we got through a gift, mystery gift recently. So I was able to use it, and it is definitely pretty powerful. At this point, unfortunately, Iron Bundles actually decided to use Electric Terrain. As I mentioned before in my previous multiple attempts, it's actually used it every single time after the Tera Shield, so I was a bit surprised here. I guess it was just unlucky for me in this turn. Either way, at this point, just with me and the other team members going down, we're definitely boosting the Magneria over there on field. It was also using a lot of Calm Minds, so it is definitely buffed up. I believe if my Lucario does go down right here, that Pokemon might be able to one-shot the Iron Bundles. I also got a bit luckier in this turn. As you can see, I was able to go ahead and get some crit hits, which is really helpful. I guess the main key would be just make sure that your team members actually don't go down. If they do, then it's a bit difficult, so try to help each other and make sure that you actually attack the Iron Bundles as soon as you are able to buff your stats. I've seen a lot of people using Goldengo as well, which is a really cool Pokemon to use. Unfortunately, what they do is they forget that they have to actually attack. I had team members where they just kept buffing themselves and then lowering the special defense of Iron Bundles without actually attacking it, which made it so much difficult, especially since they ended up just going down the very next turn. So I guess all you have to do is just have a really good strategy. In this case, unfortunately, due to the increase in special attack for Iron Bundles, me and my team members were constantly going down. But of course, in some part, it definitely helped because the Magneria was able to go ahead and testize into a Steel type and use Flash Cannon right here, which was pretty powerful right here. As you can see, it was able to one-shot the Iron Bundles without any issue. This was amazing. I actually really thought that we would lose at this point, but I was so happy that I was able to defeat it. I guess we really got lucky with this one team member. Of course, this was in random, so I'm not really sure if this is the first time they were actually trying to catch the Iron Bundle. In my case, it was. I'm going to try and use a repeat ball because that actually looks better for this Iron Bundle right here. Either way, this was pretty interesting battle, a pretty interesting strategy and different Pokemons to use. I would also recommend Lucario. It is a really cool Pokemon and does actually stand up against most of the moves. All you have to do is make sure that its special defense is a bit better than mine was. You can also try using Golden Go, but make sure that you actually attack it before you go down. I've seen people using Iron Hand, which works as well, but you have to be careful when you are going down to half health. All in all, this was definitely pretty interesting. Not the Pokemon I expected for a 7-star raid, but pretty cool, especially since I've seen this Pokemon before. Either way, now that we have the Iron Bundle, let me quickly go ahead and show its stats. I also never knew that it was part water type, so this is the first time I got to see that one. But here it is at level 100. Hopefully you all will be able to catch this Pokemon by this weekend, as the event is gonna end tomorrow. As for its moveset, it is right here. Make sure you actually take it down before it uses electric terrain, or at least make sure that you're able to actually survive a electric terrain. Otherwise, it is pretty difficult, especially when its special attack is completely heightened. Either way, that's all I had for today. Hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you did, please put a like, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to my channel, as it does help me a lot. If you'd like to support me more on Patreon, check out the links in my description, and I'll see you all in the next one.